Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Battlefront 2 news update at the Star Bazaar. Your boy slept in a bit today, so I'm bringing the news a little late, so we're going to try to get through this as fast as possible. Let's check it out. We have an official update to the roadmap, finally, though it's not a whole lot to cover. We do, though, have a release date for the April update with the first item on the roadmap, which is a new map coming to Capital Supremacy on April 24th. Clicking on the box, it says, an existing Battlefront 2 Clone Wars era planetary location is added to the Capital Supremacy game mode. It doesn't specify which map, but since it says existing Clone Wars era location, we can logically assume that it will be one of Kashyyyk, Kamino, or Naboo. Looking ahead on the roadmap, in both May and June, we have the exact same thing coming, a new map to Capital Supremacy that is an existing Clone Wars era location. Meaning, over the course of those 3 months, we will be getting the other 3 Clone Wars maps for Capital Supremacy. It sucks that we can't have the order we're getting these maps in, but Ben Walk says that the reason for that is because all 3 are being developed in parallel with each other, before the team decides when to release each one. That's pretty interesting, because if all 3 maps are being made at the same time, that could mean they will be finished around the same time, but obviously they'll release the first one they finish in April. This means they'll be sitting on content though, and likely working on other things they plan to release over the course of these 3 months. The roadmap does seem a little empty now, but Ben did also say that it is a, quote, living document, and that it will have more added to it as time goes on, so I'm fully expecting more information over the coming weeks. Besides the new maps, the roadmap only goes over some changes coming to Heroes vs. Villains in May, with a rework to the core mechanics of the mode and a removal of the target system, which is actually very cool to hear. The current system really is not the best, as it promotes running with certain characters like Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker, and can turn into a 4 vs. 1 scenario very quickly if a team knows what they're doing. I do look forward to these changes because I stay away from HVV right now. It's been Hero Showdown all the way lately. But that's it for the roadmap. Let's move on to these patch notes for the Capital Supremacy Hotfix, which is dropping tomorrow, April 3rd. I'm gonna breeze through these, but I'll break them down into segments. First off, Capital Supremacy, which is getting some fixes. The team has added failsafe scripts to reduce the chances of encountering that spawning bug, where you get into a match and it looks like you're about to spawn into the capital ships, but you realize nobody in the match can spawn. It's pretty annoying, and it doesn't sound like they've found a perfect fix yet, as this just, quote, reduces the chances of getting it, but hopefully it works well. They've also fixed a rendering issue that caused the game to crash, and have added tentative fixes to the AI, which were also causing game crashes. What's interesting about this, though, is that Ben said the team will monitor the hotfix for 24 hours after it goes live to check for stability, and if all is well, then they will turn the AI back on. So for 24 hours after the hotfix, there will still be no AI in Capital Supremacy. Just a heads up if you notice that they're not there. But moving on to the nerfs coming to Anakin Skywalker, they're really not bad, just some damage and cooldown tweaks, which I'm honestly disappointed with, but I'll go over that in just a moment. Retribution is getting a reduction in both its choke and push damage, down to 75 damage per second for both. Passionate Strike is also getting a reduction in damage, with its first upwards hit dropping from 50 to 40, and the actual downward slash dropping from 150 to 130. It's also getting 1 second added to its cooldown. Finally, Heroic Mite is also getting a damage nerf to only its base damage, from 100 to 70. And this is what is disappointing to me, because I don't think anyone had a problem with the damage from any of his abilities. It was the fact that he could chain all of his abilities together and ragdoll you until he's done. If he got a pull off on you, you can expect to get hit by Passionate Strike, which will keep you off your feet. Before the last update, this was manageable because you could block on the ground, so the combo would end after Passionate Strike. But now that feature is gone, so Anakin is pretty unstoppable now. My ideal fix would have been to just remove the knockdown effect from Passionate Strike, because that way, if Anakin wanted to keep an ability combo going, he would have to use up his Heroic Mite instead, which puts him at an immediate disadvantage. I'm fine with the block breaking effect though. Passionate Strike should be a tactical thing to win tricky duels, not a cheap move to keep an enemy off their feet, so I'm pretty unhappy with all of this, but we'll see how it all works in actual gameplay. Besides Anakin though, our new infiltrators are also getting some damage adjustments. First, the ARC Trooper's Power Blast is getting a damage reduction from 150 to 140, so that it can no longer one-shot assaults, officers, and specialists. And I'm honestly a little bummed about that, because if you see my latest Killstreak video with the ARC Trooper, link below, I was having a blast one-shotting droids with Power Blast on Geonosis, but I can understand why it was done. More importantly, I think, the BX Commando droid is getting a buff to its E5's end damage, from 21 to 30, which should make it a much stronger default blaster. I think these two changes really balance the two new reinforcements out, and I'm looking forward to trying them both. The remaining hotfix notes are just a series of bug fixes, and I'll read them off real quickly here. Fixed an issue where players who join an ongoing match would occasionally get no audio during the boarding cinematic in Capital Supremacy. Fixed an issue that would prevent the ARC Trooper from gaining progress when playing on Phase 1 maps, Camino and Geonosis. Fixed an issue where Darth Maul's chokehold ability would occasionally be inaccurately activated from a distance when being used at the same time as another hero's ability. So that's when Darth Maul has that glitch, when he can use his chokehold on you over and over again. Apparently that has been fixed with this hotfix, so that's good. They've also fixed an issue that prevented players from completing the scoped achievement when playing as a specialist when fulfilling the criteria against AI on Capital Supremacy. I guess AI kills weren't going toward that achievement. And they fixed an issue where Rey and Finn's ability UI for the insight and undercover abilities would not always be fully visible. On top of that, they've revised the pink color of the ARC Trooper's helmet scanner ability for consistency. And finally, they fixed an issue where Geonosians would occasionally be seen flying through the ground on Geonosis Pipeline Junction West. Clearly, the most important fix out of all of them. But that is it for our news update. A small but hopeful start to the roadmap, and some decent changes coming in tomorrow's hotfix. If you like the coverage today, you know what to do with that thumbs up button, and that's going to do it from me. I appreciate you all stopping by the bazaar. This has been your boy, Turkish Delight, and I'll see you all out on the battlefront. Peace.